So I'm not sure if you saw this grilling of the honorable Honorable Rod Rosenstein. I want you to look at this. Forget you know who the guy is. Forget you know what it's about. I want you to focus body language, fidgeting hands, just stuff to give you any indication that if you saw nothing else, although you can hear it in his voice too. Again, if you didn't know what it was about or anything else, is this person lying? Is he lying right now? Let's take a look. This was I'm sure some of you are probably watching this thing live. Let's take a look at this.
I don't believe that's what they're going to say, and if they do, they'll be...
Stein, why are you keeping information from Congress?
Congressman, I am not keeping any information from Congress that it's
In
appropriate.
a few minutes, Mr. Rosenstein, I think the House of Representatives is going to say something different.
I don't agree with you, Congressman. I don't believe that's what they're going to say, and if they do, they'll be mistaken.
I disagree, but I
They will be
think
mistaken.
in a few minutes, the House of Representatives is going to go on record saying you haven't complied with requests from a separate and equal branch of government, that you haven't complied with subpoenas, and you got 7 days to get your act together. I think that's what's going to happen in a few. And that's not Jim Jordan. I think that's the House. I think that's a majority of the House of Representatives. In just a few minutes, I think that's going to happen.
Effing guilty.
Why you won't give us what we've asked for.
Sir, I certainly hope that your colleagues are not under that impression. That is not accurate, sir. And
It is accurate. We have caught you hiding
Mr. Chairman,
information,
can we
Mr.
allow the witness to
Rosenstein.
answer? Mr. Chairman, point of order. We can go to Mr. Jordan's press conference and listen to him, but we came here to hear from the
The
witnesses.
time belongs to the gentleman.
Mr. Rosenstein,
Can we allow him to answer?
we have caught
will
you
be
hiding
permitted to
information
We're
from
going to allow him to
Congress.
answer.
He will be permitted to
Can I answer that,
answer
Mr.
when
Jordan?
Mr. Jordan.
Why do we have them
and
here?
We'll allow him
They're not
additional
allowed
to
time
answer.
to answer. The
Why are they
gentleman
not
is-
allowed to answer?
The gentleman's out of order. The gentleman from Ohio is recognized.
Mr. Rose, let me make this one point, then I'll let
Yes,
you
Mr.
answer.
Jordan, I'd like to
Let
answer
me make
your
this one point
accusation, sir.
where we've
Can I
caught you
answer your
hiding
accusation,
information, then you
sir?
can answer. Why did you hide the fact that Peter Strzok and Judge Contreras were friends? Why did you redact that in the documents you gave to us? Judge Contreras is kind of important. FISA court judge, more importantly, just as importantly, the judge that heard Mike Flynn's case. Why'd you try to hide that from us?
Mr. Jordan, I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to respond. I've heard you make those sort of allegations publicly on TV.
I got
And if
I
you
got it
let me
right here.
respond, sir.
Mr. Chairman, he should be given
Right
the
here.
opportunity
Now,
to
Mr. Jordan,
answer.
It's
I
redacted.
am the Deputy Attorney General of the United States. Okay? I'm not the person doing the redacting. I'm responsible for responding to your concerns as I have. I have a team with me, sir. It's just a fraction of the team that's doing this work, and whenever you brought issues to my attention, I have taken appropriate steps to remedy them. So your statement that I'm personally keeping information from you, trying to conceal information...
You're
from
the boss,
people,
Mr.
is not
Rosenstein.
true. That's correct. And my job is to make sure that we respond to your concerns. We have, sir. Now, I've appointed Mr. Lausch, who is managing that production, and my understanding is it's actually going very well, sir. So I appreciate your concerns.
Again, I think the
So
House of
understand
Representatives is
your
going to say
concerns.
otherwise.
But your use of this to attack me personally
Why did you?
is
It's not
deeply wrong.
personal.
Point of order, Mr. Chairman. May the witness be permitted to
not-
answer the
it's
question?
not personal.
The gentleman will suspend. The witness is going to have an opportunity to say whatever he wants at the end of Mr. Jordan's 5 minutes. Until the
It is
end
not
of those
personal.
5 minutes, they're his
Look
time.
at this
I
guy's
appreciate your service.
face.
It's not personal. We just want the information. Why did you tell Peter Strzok not to enter our questions yesterday?
Guilty.
When I asked Peter Strzok if he'd ever communicated with Glenn Simpson, he gave us the answer he gave us dozens of times. On advice of FBI counsel, I can't answer that question. Why couldn't he answer that question?
Mr. Jordan, I appreciate your sincere concerns, but I didn't give Peter Strzok any instructions. If there was some problem with the instructions he had, I'll be happy to look
Not
into
what-
it.
not what his
You have to
FBI lawyer
understand,
said.
Mr. Jordan, when you find some problem with a production or with questions, it doesn't mean that I'm personally trying to conceal something from you. It means we're running an organization that's trying to follow the rules, and we're going to
You
respond.
know what was
to your
interesting? When I asked him if
We're running an organization. We're trying to follow the rules. Let me decode that speak. Number one, effing guilty as charged. Liar. Lying through your teeth. You know what you're doing. My team, in other words, my team below me might be the one screwing up. I'm not handing you the redacted stuff. But you're the boss. Well, yeah, I'm the boss, and I've hired this guy, and he's from what I've heard, he's doing a really good job. What do you mean? What you've heard? You're the boss. You should know directly, is he doing good or not? Well, I heard he's doing good. We're trying to follow the rules. In other words, guys, there are rules, regulations, laws we must follow. How in the F do we get away from that? How do we get away from that? They're asking for this, and we do not want to give them that. We cannot let them see that. We cannot let them see the words on that paper for the life of us. Well, Director, Mr. Rosenstein, put one of your little teams in charge of it with clear instructions. Guys, the clear instructions are, here's what the law says, here's what we're supposed to do. I need you to find a way to not do that and give me something, anything, that hides this. Because if this gets shown to the American people and Congress critters, we are effed. Now go get me what I need you to get me, or not get me. Here you go, sir. Well, hold on. You revised the initial report, another revision, and then it's all blacked out. What was in the original, and why was it changed later, right? Isn't that interesting? But again, whether you believe one thing or the other, I'm a Democrat, I'm a Republican, I'm a liberal, I'm a conservative, turn that crap off. And just listen and watch the video. And pretend you don't know what's being said, what it actually means. And your job is to look at this guy and determine on his body language, tone of voice, how he's presenting himself right now, is this guy a truthful guy or an effing liar? That's kind of what I wanted to show you, to be honest with you. That's really what this is about. Let's continue.
If he'd ever talked to Bruce Orr, he said he had. Said he had 3 times in 2016 and 2017. Then I asked him, have you ever talked to Nellie Orr? And he said, no, I haven't. I said, well.
Oh, and let's not forget what he said about Peter Strzok. He said he was advised by counsel not to answer that question. He said he was also advised again not to answer that other question. In other words, you guys are advising him. And now Rosenstein, well, we didn't advise him of it, we didn't advise him of anything like that. I don't know why he wouldn't say that, unless he took our advice a little differently than what we gave to him. This is a Hillary response about the deleted email. Did you wipe them or not? Were they wiped or not? You mean with a cloth? That was her panic response. The pressure's too high. What do I do? Like with the cloth? It was all over her face. Liar. And this guy's lying too. Now, let's go back.
Well, why can you answer that question? Because Nellie Orr worked for Glenn Simpson, worked for Fusion. He could answer that question, but he couldn't answer because FBI counsel told him he couldn't. He couldn't answer the question whether he'd ever communicated with Glenn Simpson, a journalist. Why couldn't he answer that question?
Mr. Jordan, I appreciate you saying it isn't personal. Sometimes it feels that way. How do I know, sir? I mean, you interviewed Mr. Strzok. I didn't, so I can't
Works for you. Doesn't work for us.
There are 115,000 people who work for me, sir.
Mr. Rosenstein, did you threaten staffers on the House Intelligence Committee? Media reports indicate you did.
Media reports are mistaken.
Sometimes. But this is what they said. Having the nation's #1 law enforcement officer threaten to subpoena your calls and emails is downright chilling. Did you threaten to subpoena their calls and emails?
No, sir, and there's no way to subpoena phone calls.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying. I'm reading what the press said. I'm reading what the press said.
I would suggest that you not rely on what the press says, sir.
Well, I didn't ask if there's no way to do it. I asked if you said it.
If I said what?
What I just read you.
No, I did not.
Well, now who are we supposed to believe? Staff members who we've worked with, who've never misled us, or you guys, who we've caught hiding information from us, who tell a witness not to answer our questions? Who are we supposed to believe?
Thank you for making clear it's not personal, Mr. Jordan.
Well, I'm saying the Department of
Justice.
Justice.
Because I'm telling the truth and I'm under oath. And if you want to put somebody else under oath and they have something different,
I know these
they have
staff
to
members.
respond.
Here's my last question. What's so important that you know, that you don't want us to know, that you won't give us the documents we're asking for, that the House of Representatives is about ready to go on record saying you should give us? What's so darn important that you will threaten members, at least according to media reports and according to the staff members, threaten members?
Parliamentary inquiry, Mr. Chairman.
What is so important, Mr. Rosenstein?
Parliamentary inquiry, Mr. Chairman.
This is not an appropriate time for a parliamentary inquiry.
And point of order. The gentleman keeps representing that the House of Representatives, yes, it will be, the Republicans who continue
It's
to...
not that is not an appropriate point of order.
Oh, and look who it is. Miss Jackson Lee, by the way. You want to see something really interesting about Miss Jackson Lee? That may blow your mind. You may have never known this. Jackson Lee, Representative Jackson Lee, ring. Sporting a Pizzagate. Remember that little symbol? Remember the symbols, guys? The Pizzagate stuff, the pedophilia stuff? Oh, what's this? What's this? Oh, beautiful ring you have there, Miss Lee. And she's the one trying to stop this guy from grilling Mr. Rosenstein. No, that's not an appropriate question. Oh, it's appropriate. As Jack Torst once said, oh, it's appropriate, honey. It's appropriate. Isn't that amazing? I'm watching this for the first time. I started playing it for about a minute and a half, and I said I stopped it. We're going to do this live. You know, I'm going to record it. In other words, play it for you guys later. But I want to watch this and then comment as I go through it. I have not even seen the whole thing. I did not know they were going to pan the camera to the right, and that lady was going to be shown stopping him from asking the other Congress member from asking questions. Mrs. Lee, seems like I just read something about her recently in her pedogate ring she was wearing. Hey, let me show that for everybody. Isn't that amazing? Huh? Now, again, it's really easy to find out who these people are once you can see how to connect some of the dots. The blueprint. Who's stopping him? A club member. Isn't that amazing?
Well, he needs to be corrected in his statement.
The time of the gentleman
will
be
be the
restored.
members of the Republican Party that
Gentleman
will
will
vote in that
suspend.
way.
The time of the gentleman from Ohio will be restored for another additional 15 seconds, and then the Deputy Attorney General will be allowed to respond.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Rothstein, Mr. Ray, I do appreciate your work, but I'd also appreciate if the House of Representatives could get the information. We have repeatedly, Mr. Gowdy talked about how long this investigation is going on, how long there's been a special counsel. We started asking for information in July of last year, and some of that is still has not been given to the Congress, still not has been given to this committee, the committee charged with defending the Judiciary Committee. So I appreciate what you do. I just want the information, and we're so frustrated that there is now a resolution on the floor of the House in just a few minutes that will be voted on.
Yeah,
Time of the
Mr.
gentleman
Jordan,
has expired. Mr. Rosenstein will be allowed to respond.
I don't have any control over what resolutions you vote on, sir, and
I
you
know
should
you
feel free to
don't.
do that.
The
But
gentleman will suspend.
if
The
you're
time now is the
interested
Attorney
in-
General's.
if you're interested in the truth, Mr. Jordan, the truth is, we have a team of folks, they're Trump appointees and career folks, and they're doing their best to produce these documents. Director Wray explained to you the process. He's got hundreds of people working around the clock trying to satisfy these requests. So whether you vote or not is not going to affect it. You're going to get everything that's relevant that we can find and produce to you. I support this report, sir. I'm not
That we can find. You'll get everything. Listen to the words. You're going to get everything that we can find. Remember what I knew how this was going to go earlier. Guys, I need you to not find those things. And if you do find something, we need them redacted. Okay? Remember the email, remember the text messages from Stroke and Page. Well, we got a few, but the other ones are missing. Can't find them. We don't know what happened. Oh, never mind. We did find them. Not those guys. Another group found them. Oh, here. We did find those missing texts. And what did they say? What we thought they would say. Damaging. And isn't it funny that the most damaging statements through those text messages were the ones they couldn't find? And the information that these Congress members want is information that they can't find, might be able to find, are hiding. And you see him with this little snickery laugh, like, almost like you don't even know who you're messing with, the deep state. I guess they still have that mentality. Deep state mentality. We ain't going anywhere. We produce what we want to produce. And I just don't think they get it. Donald Trump is in charge, and he's draining that swamp. And as I said, July is going to be an interesting month, I believe, one way or the other. And this is, hell, we're almost out of the month now, June. And this is the fireworks. So now the next question is,
trying to hide anything from you.
because this was posted a few hours ago. And I'm going to pause this for a second just to get, look, let's see how the hearing went possibly. Stand by. So I'm just kind of poking around the same ABC Twitter 1 hour ago. New. After tweet from President Trump this morning alleging special counsel Robert Mueller has conflicts of interest, this guy, as you just saw, Deputy AG Rosenstein, tells House Judiciary Committee, quote, I'm not aware of any disqualifying conflict of interest from Mr. Comey. Oh, you mean you're not aware of anybody who can't find us this damn documentation we've asked for over a year now? You keep redacting the stuff that you have to show us. Yeah. Isn't that amazing? Let's see if I can find what I'm looking for. Stand by. And of course, you can just go to Zero Hedge and quit playing little games. You can find what you're looking for right away. House passes measure to force Department of Justice documents while Rosenstein grilled in heated testimony. The House passed a resolution on Thursday demanding that the Department of Justice hand over a trove of sensitive documents related to the FBI's investigation into both Hillary Clinton's email probe and the Russian investigation. And guess how that's going to go? Everything we thought about Hillary's email scandal is absolutely, positively exactly what we thought, and probably even worse. Everything you thought you might have known about Trump and the Russian collusion was a farce. Like he said, it was a witch hunt. It was complete garbage. Absolute garbage. And they don't want to turn over the documents to prove that, because they got a story to tell on CNN, MSNBC, Russian collusion, the damn Ruskies again, the Russians. The floor passed 226 to 183. I wonder if those 183 were Democrats. Yeah. Representing a further escalation in an ongoing feud between congressional investigators and the Department of Justice, the demand sets a July 6th deadline for outstanding materials, which Representative Mark Meadows, Republican, North Carolina, said on Wednesday that failure to comply could result in holding Attorney General Rod Rosenstein in contempt or even impeachment. Moments before the resolution was passed, Representative Jim Jordan, Republican, Ohio, and Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein traded barbs in a fiery exchange during congressional testimony, and Jordan accusing Rosenstein of keeping information from Congress. I am not keeping any information from Congress, he said. Again, you already saw that clip. So, I understand some people still state concerns about the speed of the production, speed of the production of the documents. But those concerns are mistaken, he said, Rosenstein said. Most requests have been fulfilled, and other document productions are in progress for this committee and other committees. In a Wednesday letter to House Speaker Paul Ryan, so as you may or may not know, Rat Ryan is on his way out. I won't be running again. Of course, made public on Thursday, Rosenstein insisted that the House resolution, quote, fails to acknowledge the extraordinary and unprecedented efforts that Trump administration officials and other department employees are making to comply with a considerable volume of oversight requests, which we already heard. Notice how he threw in the word Trump appointees. In other words, the president's own men's working on this with us. I highly doubt that. You know what it is? Hey, raise your hand if you're one of the Trump appointees. You. There's 20 people in the room. Three of you? 1, 2, and 3. Listen, we need you to work this case outside the country. We're sending you over to Kirkplakistan. Need you urgently to work on that case. We're going to finish up here with this stuff, with the collusion and the emails. The other 17 of us will take care of that. So he'll get to tell everybody, that even some Trump appointees are working on it. See how he threw that in there? That is just more ammunition that we get that proves this guy's lying. He's trying to make it sound like they're trying so hard. We're not corrupt. We're going to give you everything you want. Hell, we even got some of his guys, Trump's guys in here. But you're not Trump's guy, and you're the effing boss, aren't you? Mm-hmm. And when your minions don't do something under you that you want them to do, see you later. I have to let you go. So, that's the update for now. July 6th. You got till July 6th. 2 days after the 4th of July. In case you can't count, Mr. Rosenstein. be very interesting. Again, fireworks. Speaking of 4th of July, boy, fireworks in July. Astrologically, they're saying so. We'll see. But I want to see some handcuffs. I want to see some perp walks. Maybe a couple ankle bracelets on some lower level schmucks. And Hillary in her back brace. And maybe in a couple of those braces. Wouldn't that be great? Anyways. You're going to be pissed off. I got a feeling there's going to be some stuff we all get pissed off about in July. We're going to be pissed at some things we probably hear and see and are in our covered. Again, I look back, Webbot, secrets revealed, the pedophile stuff, like amazing. And it was years ago. And I'm waiting patiently. Is it this year? Oh, there's a little story of another priest. Nah, it's not big enough. No, okay. The Catholic Church again, is that it? Not really. Okay. Next year. Next year. Then all of a sudden, 2017 happened. And then we got into 2018. And that stuff is punching us in the face. Incredible. Get your freaking popcorn ready. I can feel it. Take care.